very weird. What you have to realize is back in ancient times, it was very, very important to societies to marry within your own class. If you were royalty, you had to marry royalty.
Yeah.
And sometimes the only royalty was someone who was related to you. And actually they believed that things should be kept in the family. They didn't understand the genetics of it. That could eventually lead to a lot of physical problems, physical and mental issues. So they didn't have any laws against it. It was very common to marry someone you were related to. Well, not so much to your mom, but then remember, this is a play.
Yeah, can't call it.
All right, so I need everyone to 45 your screen. And I need everyone's attention up here. Because now we're going to talk about the rest of the story. Sean, do you need to go get a drink of water? Oh, you're wiping your eyes. Okay, I thought you were going to sleep on me.
I'll drink some water.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Just stretch your legs a bit. Okay, so when we left off from the story, we knew that, obviously, you have Laius and Jocasta, who gave birth to Oedipus. And then you have Oedipus, who went on to marry his mother, as we know. And then they had 4 children. And of those 4 children, you had 2 girls, Antigone and Ismene, and then 2 boys, Oedicles and Polynices. So, as we're going into our story, we know that Antigone went with Oedipus into the wilderness when he blinded himself. And then the story that we are now getting into about Antigone begins with a civil war in Thebes. Oedipus is dead. And so his 2 sons, Oedicles and Polynices, they both want the throne. And you know what happens when 2 people have different desires and they can't find a compromise? They what? They get in a huge fight. So they got into a fight, caused a civil war, and then killed each other. They are both dead. This brings in another character. Sit up, everyone. Sit, heads up. Another character. Creon. Creon, who is yelling? Let's not yell. Creon, who is Jocasta's brother, and then the uncle to these guys. And he has to take over the throne because he's the only living heir now that Oedicles and Polynices are dead, and Oedipus is long since dead as well. So that is where we are with Thebes as we are going into the story of Antigone. Creon is very angry about what has happened. So I want to just give us this backstory, and I want to go ahead and show you all a couple clips on YouTube. Because we talked an awful lot. Yes, oh Sean, yes, you have a question?
Yeah, I'm going to assume that she marries her uncle.
No. Wait, who? Antigone? No, but that is a very good sort of inference you're drawing because, as we're going to find out as we get into the story, Antigone is getting ready to marry her first cousin, Haemus.
Well, that's okay.
So you're close. Not marrying her uncle, but marrying her cousin, and yet again, that was the norm, particularly with royalty.
Why can't she just be alone? She only knows.
I know, that's a very interesting question too. So let's draw our attention back a little bit to Greek theater, because when we're reading the play, you're obviously going to see, Antigone speaking and Ismene speaking, and that's going to make sense. But we talked a lot about the chorus. And the chorus, when you're reading a play, it's almost like there's just this interjection of poetry and prose and language that is just sort of different than what the characters are using. And I want to just again clarify what we know about the chorus in a Greek play. All right, so let's review what a chorus is doing. So we're going to actually look at a couple of video clips and see what a chorus does. But I want us to remember what the function that the chorus is serving in a Greek play. Can anyone remember off the top of their heads what some of the things that a chorus in a Greek play is actually doing? Why do we have a chorus in a Greek play?
To play through song and dance.
Yes, to add beauty to the play through song and dance. There's a lot of singing. There's a lot of moving together. The chorus is setting the mood or expressing the main themes of the play. Sean, sit up.
Yeah.
Connecting the actors and the audience, giving the actors advice, or they are foretelling the future by interpreting the actions of the actors. Now, this is something that is very easy to see when you're watching a play, but it is more difficult to discern when you're reading a play. So I have a couple of clips that I want to show you from performances of Antigone that really demonstrate the function of the Greek chorus. So, Ms. Purcell, if you wouldn't mind to get the lights for us. And we're only watching, we're not talking. This may be a bit loud, I'll turn it down. Even though we have silence here, even though we have darkness, this is still a part of setting the mood. What kind of mood, if you're sitting in a theater and it begins by darkness and silence, what kind of mood would that be setting?
Lewis.
It's about to start.
It's about what?
It's about to start.
It's about to start, but it's more. It's adding, so we're obviously, it is going to be a happy play, you think? If we're sitting in the dark for a minute? A dark play, literally, yes. All right, here we go.
Lewis.
In the middle of the chorus here, this is a chorus, the girl in the middle, she looks frightened and then she's running away. Who might this be? Antigone. Yes. Yes. So again, the chorus foretelling the future, suggesting we see our protagonist and she's terrified and running away. This could mean something. This suggests something about the future.
She ran from home.
Okay, notice something else. In the center of the chorus, we see two males. They're facing, their backs are together. What is that showing us?
They're against each other.
They're brothers. They're against each other. Yes. Yes.
Came out.
They killed each other.
They killed each other. Yes, we do see the king entering, yes, you're right, from behind. But yes, they're fighting. They're against each other. Their backs are together. They're turning around, they're fighting, and then they both fall on opposite sides. And yes, here comes our king.
People of Thebes, the war has ended. We have survived the
What is one very obvious thing we notice about our chorus at this moment?
Yeah.
They're wearing their masks. And so, wearing their masks is doing what? Promoting what?
That they're the people.
Persona.
That they're the people, they're personas. Yes, a persona, but what type of a persona?
Unity.
What type of persona? Personas that are all different and unique, and some happy and some sad, or
Unity.
personas that are unity? Yes, yes. So they are expressing the unity. Absolutely.
monstrous waves that have battered our city. Loss, pain, suffering, and the gods have stayed our waters. As your king, I wish to declare my peace with our past.
We are united, no more cowards. We return from the madness, united as one.
We will return this city to its former glory. Never forget those who have honored us. Brave Antigone died fighting for our city. Will be buried tonight.
Here we are again.
Brave Antigone, hero.
Of those like Polynesians, determined to see this city burn and ruin. Those who fought against us and betrayed Thebes, they shall remain unburied for all to see. The punishment for those who defy Thebes and all the glorious people of Thebes is death.
Okay. So were you all able to glean what's going on with Creon in this moment?
He's declaring himself ruler.
He's declaring himself ruler. Now, he approves of one brother and he doesn't approve of another. Which one is he in favor of? Which one does he approve of? He approves of Oedicles, because Oedicles was sitting on the throne at the time. Oedicles went up there, sat on the throne, and was like, I'm king. Whatever. What are you going to do about it? And Polynices said, I'll show you what I'm going to do about it. He left Thebes. He went out. He raised an army. He came into Thebes with an army, and he fought Antigone, with an army. That's where the Civil War came in. And Creon's point about it all is that Antigone was a hero because he defended the city, and that Polynices was the villain because he came in and he tore the city up trying to get his way. Talk about a temper tantrum. So, what is the punishment that he is laying out? Even though they're dead, he is still punishing them. Punishing Polynices. What is he going to do to punish him?
Not give him a proper burial.
Not give him a proper burial. Yes! Antigone, brave Antigone, will receive a hero's funeral. But Polynices is going to literally be left to rot on top of the ground. I mean, that's very disrespectful, I would think. So, this is at the point where the play begins. Antigone is very upset about this. But before we get into that, I want to show you another perspective of the chorus and what the chorus is doing. This is another performance of Antigone. It's a bit more of a modern kind of interpretation. It's still really beautiful.
Big crowd.
Okay, what's doggone it? Hang on, sorry. Okay, so let's look at the scene that is being set here. I don't know why, forgive me, I don't know why this keeps popping back.
You press multiplayer.
I did?
Yes, that thing beside the full screen. Yeah, it's a little thing with a little.
Oh, please pardon the interruption. Let me try to figure this out.
We sorely had trouble.
Okay, so what scene can we assume that this is? What scene is being set here? Where is this taking place?
After the wars.
After the wars. After the wars, where in the kingdom of?
Thebes.
Thebes. Absolutely. Now, how do we know that? What is showing us that? What do we see?
Blood on the ground.
blood on the ground.
Cauldrons, what are we called?
The cauldrons, yes, so there's things are on fire, graffiti looking kind of stuff, blood it looks like. Now,
A woman.
it's not a woman. Well, let's watch this a little further. I want us to really focus on what is happening here without words, what the scene and what the actor's lack of speaking conveys. Because again, we saw King Creon a moment ago being like, I am the ruler and this shall not stand. This is King Creon, but in a much different way. Just as powerful, but let's just watch, really sort of see and feel what's happening here. Pause here just a moment. Now, this Creon, what is going on with this Creon? What are we seeing and feeling about this interpretation of Creon?
He's walking.
He's walking, but what is he
He's
feeling?
upset.
He's upset.
Upset.
He's very much just sad.
No, he's not.
You don't think? What do you think he is?
Just walking around.
I think.
What
Well,
is he looking at?
He's disappointed.
he's disappointed.
Where's the crowd?
Yeah.
He's looking around at the destruction. He's taking it all in. All right, so let's keep watching. Let's see the most poignant moment yet.
Last time back there.
Yeah, what? There's some behind me.
Yes, all right, so let's watch. The most poignant moment yet is about to happen. So we see him walking around. He's beholding the devastation. He's
He's gonna
sad. He's disappointed. He's overwhelmed.
Oracle's gonna call him.
Now watch. Ooh, look, it says right there, no hope. I just now noticed that. You see that?
Yeah, it's
No, what?
No hope. All right. Slowly, heavily, sadly, reluctantly, he takes the throne. Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. So think about that now.
Okay.
The other Creon. Again, he's angry, he's aggressive, I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna follow my rule because I am the boss now, and this shall not stand, and like, you know, that whole thing. But this interpretation, he's sad, he's heavy, it's a burden, but he has to take it. There's no one else to sit on the throne of Thebes but this man. And he is taking all that in. And he is sad. He's not just like a power-hungry person. So the reason this perspective is relevant is it will come back around when we're reading the play. Is Creon the villain, or is he sympathetic? That kind of thing. So, all right, just a second, sweetie. Okay, so no. So now we're back to the chorus. The chorus is going to come in. I think this is so beautiful. It's really cool.
Oh.
can kind of think of that. She's protesting, and she's sitting on the edge of the throne. So she's getting ready to, like, disobey Creon.
That might be a dude.
Well, you know, it could be. It could be because back in that time, all the players were male.
Oh,
So,
what?
all the players in a drama were male. So. All right, Ms. Parson, would you mind getting the lights for us? I don't know that we're going to have time to go deeply into this, as deeply as I would like. Let me change the orientation. Oh, I think this is actually, the orientation has changed. So, go ahead, turn in your notebook to a clean sheet of paper. Friendly reminder, if I see your cell phone, this is your second reminder, it will be confiscated. Ms. Nichols may not be here, but her rules still apply. So, in this assignment, excuse me? What's happening? Who is that? What's funny? So we're going to be considering some things for you to think about. Okay, so the 8 statements below, and I'm going to try to shrink this down so it's a little more visible. I want you to draw a little graph here for each question. Draw the graph and write the question. We will return to this. I understand we're not going to have enough time for this week, or today, I'm sorry, yes. It will be torn out, not today. Leave it. I would leave it in your notebook for now because we're going to have to return to it on Tuesday. So these are things I want you to consider. So there are 8 questions. I'm going to shrink this down so we can see it a little better. But beside of each statement that you write, put a visible X on the line in relation to how much you agree or disagree with the statement. The answers to this, your feelings about this, I don't expect it to be black or white, which is why you have a little line here. Do you fall somewhere along the lines? Yes, Sean?
It's on our computers, I can't see that.
Yeah, I can't see him.
You cannot see it. It is not on your computer yet. Let's just try, since this is a bit small, let's just try for the first 6 today. And we will do more. Yeah, we had a printer problem, so this was supposed to be printed.
That's not maybe.
Let's do the first 5.
Can I sit in that chair over there? Right there.
No, that is a teacher's desk, so you can sit as close as right here.
I still
I'm sorry?
Are we still filming?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably enough. I think we can sign off now.